Hello everyone. Here we'll be taking up a very small but important topic, that is factorizing a quadratic expression or a polynomial of degree 2 by splitting the middle term. Now, ax square plus bx plus c is a quadratic polynomial in its general form. Here, in order to factorize this, we will be splitting the middle term. Now, what do we mean by this middle term? Ax square is the first term here, bx is the second, and c is the third term. And clearly, bx term is called the middle term here. So we'll be splitting this term into two parts following a few rules which will become clearer as we proceed. Now, there is another term that we have been using here, factorization or factorizing. Now, what is this? So let us take an example. Say we want to factorize 10. What do we mean by this? It simply means that we want to write 10 in terms of the product of its factors. Here, 2 and 5 are the factors. So speaking of factorizing a quadratic polynomial, we now know that when we say factorizing a polynomial, we are wanting to write this polynomial in terms of the product of its factors. So if an expression has two factors, it can be written as the product of those two factors. If an expression has three factors, it can be written as the product of those three factors. Now, the degree of a polynomial tells us the number of factors that it has. Here, a quadratic polynomial has a degree 2. So it can be written in terms of the product of its two factors. Now, how to find these two factors? Let us go through the steps once. Firstly, we'll be finding the product of A and C. Second is to write this product in terms of all of its factors. Next, seeing these factors that we've already found in step 2, we'll be splitting the middle term, and for that we'll be choosing any two factors of product AC, keeping a few things in mind. Now, this will be better understood when we take an example. Let us have 3x square minus 2x minus 21, which needs to be factorized by splitting the middle term. So, step 1 is finding the product AC. Here A is 3 and C is 21. So, the product that we get is 63. Also, I would like to mention here that for the time being, we are only dealing with the numbers, that is 3, 2, 21 here, and we are not concerned with the signs in front of them, just for the time being. So, the product we have is 63. Next is to write this 63 in terms of the smallest factors possible. So, we can write 63 as 3 into 3 into 7. So, we've done that. Now, let us look at step 3 once again. Now, it is clear that we need to choose two factors of 63 such that the product equals 63. Now we cannot choose one factor as 3 and another as 7, because then the product won't be 63 but it will be 21. But we want 63. So we are taking 3 into 3, which will give 9 as a factor, and we'll have 7 as another one. So we see that the product of 9 and 7 gives us 63. So the two factors that we've taken are 9 and 7 here. Now comes the role of the coefficient of x, that is 2 here. I will repeat that we are not taking into consideration the signs in front of these numbers for the time being. Alright, so next we are required to get 2 here with some combination of these two factors. In other words, we'll be adding them to see if we get 2. Now we add and we find that adding 9 and 7 doesn't give us 2. Next we'll subtract the 2 and find that yes, we get 2 in this case. Now we'll be considering the sign that is in front of 2, which is negative in this case. Now let us find that combination. So plus 9 minus 7 will give us plus 2, which we don't want. Minus 9 plus 7 will give us minus 2, which is the required integer. So minus 2x when splitted will be written as minus 9x plus 7x. Now taking the first two terms, that is 3x square and minus 9x, these terms can be written in terms of their factors. Also we see that 3 and x are common to both the terms. So 3x can be taken as common and we are left with x minus 3 inside the brackets. Now taking the next two terms, that is 7x and minus 21, we find that 7, after we write the two terms in terms of the factors, we find that 7 is common to both the terms. So when we take 7 common, we are left with x minus 3 inside the brackets. Now again, we have two terms. We have term 1 and we have term 2. Term 1 can be written in terms of its factors, that is 3, x and x minus 3. Term 2 when written in form of its factors is 7 and x minus 3. So we see that x minus 3 is common to both, so we'll take that common and we're left with 3x plus 7. So 3x square minus 2x minus 21 is factorized by splitting the middle term, and we have x minus 3 in brackets, another bracket 3x plus 7. Well, that's all for now. Thank you very much and all the best.